All right, I know it's been forever since I last posted a video. I'm not going to say much other than let's just get into this. Falcons Philippines and MPL PH, they've been struggling. You know, it's been a tough time to be a hashtag Falcons guy. Because after starting off the season sweeping, I believe it was Aurora they started off the season sweeping with. I could be wrong. They then go on a 5-series losing streak, culminating in this loss against AP Bren. Now, Falcons PH actually started off this series well because they went 1-0. They won the first game. It was iffy at the beginning, but then they were able to turn things around with Ogwen on the Grok, playing very well. But then now it reached game number 3. And to make things worse, at the end of this series, we found out that this last pick Suyo by AP Bren came with not a lot of practice. That Suyo right there. Barely any practice. No practice at all. They were just drafted into a corner where they were like, wait, what the hell do we pick? Falcons banned the banned the Lucas, which is something that AP Bren has shown as something that they'll be willing to pick into the jungle still. And the Lancelot was banned by AP Bren and Fanny was banned by AP Bren all in the first phase, leaving the YSS with Kyle TZ because Falcons PH also banned out the Baksha. So whether it was intentional or not, AP Bren were drafted into a corner by Falcons PH. Let's look at the draft, okay? I wanted to focus on just one game. One game that I feel like summed up all of my frustrations with Falcons PH that helps highlight a lot of the things wrong with Falcons PH right now. So, Falcons PH started things off with a Kalea, Farsa, and YSS priority. You know what? That is what I would like to call good. That's decent. That's fine. That's pick-off, that's scaling. You're playing around the pick-off combo, just so that you can supplement, hopefully, the YSS not having a lot of trouble with farming. Problem is, okay, they didn't ban the Gatot Kacha. And I was making a point of that in the draft. I was actually casting this game, so yeah. They should have banned the Gatot Kacha at this point. Because when you have a lineup that has the Kalea on there, you see the Harith on the other side, Uranus is the EXP laner that you're up against. You do not want the catch that the Gatot Kacha provides. Falcons banning out the high loss makes sense. Yes, because they're up against the Harith, and that high loss would have supplemented the Zalman Force very well. With Falcons playing in a box around the Farsa, well, it's more like a circle because, that's feathered airstrike right there. That looks like a pizza. You do not want a dude like high loss easily being able to penetrate the enemy formation. But they still gave the Gatot Kacha. Okay. The the Lucas, again, good ban because they draft AP Bren into a corner playing uncomfortable pick. But if I had to choose something that they could have changed, I think Falcons PH should have just given the Lucas. Because as we see later on in the game, the Gatot Kacha Uranus combo actually gave Falcons PH such a big headache that they couldn't fight properly. Now, the Lunox pick. The Lunox, I understand if you look at it from the smaller picture. Number 1, laning. The Harith against carry in lane, historically, Harith does better than carry in lane and can bully. Considering that you already have the Gatot Kacha and the Uranus here, could have been a problem and could have snowballed if the carry was given no time. You know what? Understandable. You know who else was open? Granger was open. Bruno was open. And I actually thought that they lead towards the Bruno. So you ban the Beatrix here by AP Bren because you're thinking, okay, they need strong lockdown basic attack. You can't go Claude at this point. Would have been too much. You're already playing around the box. The Claude would have been left dead in the water. And that would have been more pressure onto the CC. So I was thinking, maybe they could have gone Bruno. Maybe Granger. But Falcons thought, we need to speed things up a little bit. And we all know Lunox, as long as she has a decent early to mid game, her damage is pretty damn good against squishy heroes. But then again, you have two very tanky dudes in front of you that is very capable of holding down the front line for the Suyo and then the Harith to clean things up. So that's another thing. Number one, I wish they just gave the Lucas to AP Bren. Number two, I wish this Lunox was something different, maybe a Bruno. And I'm losing my mind that I am undoing all of the old things that have already shown up on screen. But I will say, I will give Falcons PH a benefit of the doubt here. This Suyo is a very risky pick. And that is something that we brought up on broadcast. Because also, that is primarily magic damage sources you have to deal with. And we all know one of the reasons why Suyo fell out of the meta is because magic damage, his magic damage defense was taken away from the immortal form. And now he's very rarely picked up. It's a miracle if we see Suyo. You could say Falcons, theoretically, if they executed this very well, should have been able to win. But the biggest problems are your Gatotkacha and Uranus, which, again, in the long run, you don't really have the damage profile in the early to mid to deal with. But you can find ways to out-execute AP Bren so that you'll win it. So, drafting-wise, you know what? That's fine. It's fine. Despite, along with the two changes that I wish they could have done, you know, again, give the Lucas, ban the Gatotkacha. Okay, maybe they could have fared better. But I could see a world where Falcons would have won this game, though with great difficulty. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the game. I'll leave commentary on. I don't know how loud it's going to be. So, Few and Ogwen start separate sides. They're not going to stick together. They could have probably maximized damage if they started in the same bush, same area. So you see Ogwen and Few are doing a really good job of managing like the middle trade. Looking at the emblems, nothing too crazy as well. You have Bargain Hunter on Shizo, of course. You want him to scale fast. Few even picked up Rupture so that he'll be able to deal with the X-Nova and Lord JM super tanky dudes. Super Marco even picked up Rupture. It's Assassin emblem on the Lunox. It's Adaptive Pen that provides. Got easy going with his Assassin emblem set as well. And yeah, very, very standard across the board. I also like it when we see the Uranus pop up because we get to see the different shades of what Uranus can bring to the table. Although most of the time now you see Festival of Blood, Inspire, basic common emblem set. That's about it. All right, so we're gonna let this play out. So for the first trade, Few and Ogwen win that. All right, because they were able to bring X-Nova and Aqua low. Well, mainly X-Nova. Now they're also able to invade James Banks' jungle, being able to disrupt him. Good. So execution-wise, rotation-wise, Falcons are winning it so far. They get mid-prio real quick. They're able to disrupt James Banks. Let's double back and see if Kyle Teasy was able to steal away the golem. Let's just wait for it to get back. Okay. No. Yeah, so Kyle Teasy was able to secure the golem easily. You delay the farm of the Suyo. You're able to steal a camp from him. So, all is going good right now for Falcons. And you shouldn't worry so much. I'm not going to bring the commentary up so loud because I don't want you guys to hear my voice twice. Once on broadcast and once now. So, now let's look at what's happening in the gold lane. So, one of the reasons why Lunox has been coming back in the meta is because laning-wise, people have been saying that it's a good way to deal with the Harith. And even when it comes to the team fights, if you need someone to melt down really tanky dudes, then you're good with just picking up the Lunox, as that is the magic shred that he can dish out. And considering that a lot of the marksmen right now take a lot of time to scale up, besides the Bruno, the Lunox is like an alternative to what everyone else brings to the table right now. But Super Marco is losing lane. Shizo is winning lane very well. He's struggling. And then when we go to the center of the map, we already see action. So Ogren and Few are providing vision for Kyle Teasy, giving him space. Because we see here with the lineup of the Suyo and the Gatakacha together, paired up with the strong burst of the Kagura, this is actually a very strong invading lineup. This is one of the problems when you are picking up a pick-off style roamer that, yes, has good healing, good mobility, a decent amount of damage as well. When you have a lineup that can just run through your jungle, especially when your EXP laner can do the same later if ever the Uranus is already set and winning lane against the CC, then you're really actually going to struggle. So the YSS pickup now actually needs more help. So AP Bren doesn't need to kill Kyle, they just need to disrupt him. And they do so by disrupting also Ogwyn and Fuse rotation. So now, with Lord JM coming from a gank angle, or excuse me, from an aggressive angle, now you're outnumbered. Now it's 4-3. Ferds is there nearby, yes. But without the curtain call, Ferds can only do so much. While the Gatakacha and the Uranus can literally just throw themselves in front of Falcons' formation, and they're gonna be okay with it. So you're disrupting. Ogwyn forces out the flicker from Aqua. But all of this is AP Bren showing to Falcons that, okay, you want river control? Well, we're actually gonna be the ones to get it because we can afford to be more aggro. Don't have to kill Kyle. We just have to, bother him a bit. They weren't able to steal a camp away from Kyle TZ. I think the gold crab is actually going to go to the Suyo here. Or the EXP crab. We're not going to see who was able to get it. Let's look from the EXP level ranking. James Banks, Kyle TZ. Alright, so James Banks was able to secure it. So you get to see it through the EXP level ranking here on the side. He went from 96% to 20%, meaning that James Banks was able to steal the EXP crab away from Ferds, meaning that Ferds is going to be a little bit late to the party. He will hit level 4 though. Uranus will be here. So see how X-Nova just throws himself right now in front of Kyle TZ. And Lord JM there as well. So much pressure for Kyle TZ. He cannot dash into the turtle pit, because if he does, James Banks can just get him with a surge. So he has to reposition. He has to Traceless away. Still CC immune, but he just easily pushed back. James Banks can just focus on the turtle. X-Nova's gonna get taken down here. But even with the curtain call, not a lot of damage just yet. A lot of it went to X-Nova. First gets the first blood, but Lord JM is still there. Now Aqua's here as well too. James Banks gets the shield, and the turtle, easy take. Yes, you lose your roamer, but at that point, that's X-Nova doing his job properly. And look how gapped Super Marco is in the gold lane, man. If Shizo's already on the way to hitting level 5, Super Marco is still halfway, barely even halfway to level 4. That's from the initial start of Falcons PH getting the nice disruptive rotation against James Banks to this, it's already starting to get out of control. Few was able to get a pick onto Aqua in mid. Now that's something we have to, credit Few for and Falcons for. And Aqua should not have gotten caught there, because if you look at the mini-map, Few actually used his ultimate, got the feathered airstrike, and brought him low. That was 2 hits. So that was a feathered airstrike that actually brought Aqua down. And eventually, Few committed the flicker. You saw it on the map, he flicked. You see it in his cooldowns, he flicked as well. And he was able to secure the kill onto Aqua. Little things like that is why I disagree with the statement that Few is washed. Few famously had that highlight, I believe it was week 1 or week 2, where he missed a lot of point blank abilities as the Farsa. Flickered second skill, also things like that. But I don't believe Few is washed. I strongly disagree with that statement. So back to okay, nice catch by Aqua. So we have to look at this. Ogwyn's not level 4 yet. He's close to 50%. It's a good read by Aqua to just go ahead and toss out his combo. He knew that Ogwen wanted to go into the bush for vision. He just threw out the full-on yin-yang overturn. They timed it as well with James Panks and X-Nova rotating so that they could join in and help in the team fight. Great positioning by Few, but then Lord JM will be coming in from the flank. James Panks takes Ogwen down. Aqua's able to survive, gets his umbrella back, gets the shield. Great AOG by X-Nova to catch Kyle TZ, and then Kyle TZ gets taken down. So, it was all initiated by AP Bren. AP Bren fought that better. Because Lord JM is flanking from the wings. It's a great read by X-Nova to commit the AOG right away. They have the vision. I wish that the moment that they saw X-Nova there, and I'm pretty sure, hopefully Ferds gave the information that Lord JM is coming to help. Kyle TZ should have just backed off right away, man. Just get. That's not a straight line. That's not. I want a squiggly. He should have just backed off straight away. Get on out of there. Yet we see him do a hesitant shuffle of like, all right, am I gonna free hit? Am I gonna help fight? What am I gonna do here? Kyle TZ was caught. He committed the traceless early on as well. Instead of waiting for the AOG or for a crowd control effect to be charged up, he gets caught as well. Which leads me to one of my statements about Falcons. I feel like one of the ones that we should really be looking at right now in terms of like needs to improve in terms of overall timing, timing with himself, timing with the rest of the team is Kyle TZ. Because this wasn't the first time we see something like this. If you go back to week 2, I believe it was, or week 3, there was a game where he was, week 2 it was, week 2. There was a game where he was playing the Yi Sun Shin, and then I was actually there in the arena. It was week 2, day number 2. And you could see in a team fight that Kyle TZ was mispositioned. But then I was also seated behind Coach Ducky, and I don't know what Coach Ducky told Kyle TZ, but when Kyle TZ passed by, he immediately pulled Kyle TZ's attention and then gave him coaching advice. What it was, I don't know. But if it was along the lines of just watching his positioning or just telling Kyle TZ to calm down with wanting to fight or whatnot, then it makes sense because we see that like in game. So we're gonna keep this up. I hear myself and I get confused because you know, like I'm also talking over this and then now hearing your own voice is kind of weird. So they're gonna keep this up. I'm surprised we're only just like in the 4-minute mark. I have so many things to say about Falcons right now and how they've been playing. Few was brought low, so that's immediately disadvantage. You don't have feathered airstrike anymore. He was brought low because he decided to trade with Aqua. He almost took Aqua down, actually. So credit to Few. It's just like Aqua was able to escape. And then Few even threw out a yin-yang overturn to mess with Few. So it became like an equal trade. So mid for mid. But then Few decided to cancel his recall. He just healed through Ogwen instead. Great interplay. Okay, I like that. Ferds is already zoning out and giving vision. Risky, but you already saw that the Gata Kacha of X-Nova already committed the Unbreakable. So there's not a lot of risk at this moment for him to get taunted. Ogwen can just help Kyle. Now Super Marco's at the wings. This is a good fight to take, it looks like. So let's see what happens. Okay, you know, I'm going to put audio up for this one.
Nova, who they gonna pull the trigger on?
Good taunt by X-Nova. Zaman Force. Curtain call. James Panks gets third. Defensive feathered airstrike. But yeah, it's the same problem again. James Panks is so free. If you're Kyle TZ, where the hell are you gonna go in this scenario? Can't blame him for using Traceless to go away. He's already taunted. At this point, you're going to look to trade kills instead. With his Zaman Force already down, you can't Traceless in. Should he have risked using the Traceless inside? My more conservative playstyle says no. James Banks also had like the surge as well, so he could have gone in and stunned Kyle. Lord JM is there. Even though he's slow, maybe it could have been better that Kaltizi decided to Traceless in instead of using it to get away. But I don't blame Kaltizi for using Traceless at that moment. They are able to get X-Nova down. There is still a Zaman Force up, so you're watching out for this Harith. But I feel like if they were going to fight into this, Kaltizi could have positioned himself a little bit closer to the other members of AP Bren. Supplement damage so that you can continue on the chase. But you know what? They decided to play it safe, and that's okay. That's fine. Nothing, no cardinal sin was like broken there. It's okay. So, one of the reasons why I picked this game is because it isn't only like a one-sided stomp for AP Bren that it makes Falcons look even worse. But you also see good things from the side of Falcons that they're doing that you can highlight, you know, what else is going good for them other than just the bad. Off-cam kill by Aqua. If you look up here at the map, Kaltizi was just straight up caught. That's just a really good read by Aqua, and you can't blame Kaltizi for dying there, honestly. That's just Aqua things. That is RSG things. You see in the map that the Kagura was able to clear the minion wave. Could have been a miscommunication on the side of Falcons for no one to call that the Kagura could have gone up top or held the river shrub. Kaltizi was not expecting that at all. He just wanted to get the litho. But then again, you know what? I think that's something we can dissect. Because you see the Kagura in the map, last moment scene was clearing the minion wave in mid, right? You get to see that through the minion. It would make sense if Falcons decided to make the call that, okay, be careful, Kagura could have held any of the mid bushes. So you know what? Yeah, I'll say Falcons should have seen that coming. Or should have been a little bit more careful for that. Where if Ogwin was gonna go hold that area, he could have gone in and helped Kyle Teasy clear that instead. Because you expect, yes, the Gotcha to help out the Harith up top because you have Few and Super Marco pushing. But they both have escape tools anyway. So now, the committal up top, with Ogwin providing cover, looks even worse now. So I think, yeah, that helps me highlight another thing that I've been saying a lot about Falcons on broadcast. It's like the interplay between Few, Ogwin, and Kyle. It's like they're not talking enough or they're not talking enough about the right things at that moment. So you clearly see the disconnect. Kyle wanted to get Litho. Ogwin wanted to supplement up top. No one, I think, marked Aqua in the center of the map. So yeah, they should have called that Aqua was there. Eventually leading to this. And if I'm not mistaken, this is where it all started really going wrong for Falcons. Super Marco's level 7. He has 1 kill. He was able to get an okay amount of farm. But at this point, with James Banks left undisturbed, you've given him 3 kills. You have 2 very tanky frontliners who have Vengeance, who can just like throw themselves in front of the members of Falcons. At that point, it was a game, man. That it would have been so tough for Falcons to turn it around. Because they're also like very ultimate based. Yes, I know they have like the damage from the YSS, but like YSS isn't, the damage profile isn't that of like a marksman. He's like more of like a skill-based assassin marksman. And then when you have the Uranus on the other side, it's like, dude, there's not going to be a lot stopping that Uranus. Mountain Shocker to provide vision. So yeah, this is just gonna start going really wrong for Falcons. You see them now just playing on their side of the river. They can't even get past get river control. AP Bren has like a 2,000 gold lead, and it's just gonna balloon from here. Just fast forwarding sequences now because I spent a lot of time in the early game. X-Nova gets picked, but look at that. The taunt, AOG, zone out. Kaltizi is able to take down X-Nova. Ferds is not here because he's dealing with James Banks. He decided to go for a flank angle. He's getting zoned out. Even Super Marco with the darkness barely putting a dent on the Uranus Katakacha front line. Easy cleanup there for AP Bren. Because of that little sequence up top where Kyle Tizzy was caught, which led to even more kills for AP Bren onto Ogren and Few. That gave them such a big lead that even though Super Marco can fight, it's like, nah, not in the right time. Great start there by Ogren. Feathered airstrike to take him down. But then Shizo's there. Easy Zaman Force. You just fight into all of that. You don't mind. Even Aqua hasn't used his ultimate yet at this point. Now he did. Ferd's down. Taken down by James Banks. Owen got taken down. Calteezy got hit there. Didn't even get to dodge that. I believe his Traces was off cooldown or he just wanted to sidestep it. And you're just going to see AP Bren takes full control. Not much anymore Falcons can do. Because of that one sequence up top and a lot of the little things that happened, James Banks was left undisturbed. He would get like MVP in this game.
You have veteran players, but still they're falling onto the basic fundamentals.
There, like what Athena said, helping reiterate what I mentioned is just, you see Falcons forgetting some of the fundamentals. They decided to focus on the roamer, yeah, but at that point, with the lead that you have, getting a roamer kill won't do much because you already have the Uranus on the other side who can still front for the Suyo and the Harith. AP Bren would have taken those fights. You see Falcons, I can't recall if Falcons was able to contest this. They weren't even able to. See X-Nova, Lord JM, zone out. You get vision. Calteezy cannot get close. Even the Harith is going to zone out. Every objective fight saw James Banks just whacking away at the objective and Falcons not being able to scratch him. And this is just like rinse and repeat. AP Bren has a dominating lead. Falcons can get kills, but they're not big quality kills. Good curtain call, but at this point, you barely have any damage onto Few right now. Okay, let's look at this fight. Orange buff. Ogun forced out. Ferds from the wings, but you're not going to curtain call into that. You're going to back off. Super Marco's 2-0-2. Okay, but then again, super tanky frontliners. Here comes Kyle. Mountain Shocker, good stun. Aqua getting away, but Few gets taken out. Because Few decided to flicker. No, double check. I think that was just burn damage. He still got caught, yeah. It was just burn damage. Okay. That was just another good check by Few. Already committing the YYO, the Yin Yang overturn, and just use it as like a bear trick shotgun. Tricks of the trade. We also made a big deal about Aqua, by the way. Wherein Aqua's one of the players in Season 9 who was very prolific with his Kagura. Because that was the meta when Kagura was like all over. So, it was like a Kagura, Selena, Kadita trade in the mid lane in Season 9. So, Few was just caught off guard there. So, but then Few decided, let me double check. Okay, Few flicked out. 8 damage from James Banks, 8 damage from Aqua. That was just unfortunate. That was just really good man marking also by AP Bren because they knew or had an idea of where the Farsa would be coming from, so they just decided to blast damage towards that direction. But as you see here, the points that we made about Falcons, the seemingly lack of proper communication with Ogu and Calteezy Few, the talk there, some of the little decisions in the draft in terms of the trades that they decide to take. And this is the problem I'm starting to have with, it's not really a problem, but my little gripe with what's happening right now in some of the drafting decisions in MPL PH. And I've said this on broadcast also, wherein a lot of the teams are focusing a little bit more on the little picture of like laning instead of looking at the big overall picture of trading. Which I understand because teams do say that, okay, if one lane trade loses a bit too much, no matter how the big picture looks, there's no recovery there. But MPLPH teams execute so well that teams like TNC and Omega who are good in their own right because they're willing to take those risks of, okay, we have a losing matchup in lane, but they'll make up for it with surprising plays because, again, they're not losing everything. Their jungler's still doing okay. So they'll make a play through the jungler, tell the gold laner, you know what, you want to catch up? Okay, let's fight. They're able to catch Lord JM here. X-Nova with a good AOG to catch Ferd, so that just ends up becoming a trade. Feathered Airstrike is leaving Shizo back, but then look at Aqua. Great flank. Conceal. Yeah, I know they're building advantage for the objective, but then you have no read on where the Kagura is. It's an easy flank for Aqua. Fuse able to sidestep, but you cancel out the Feathered Airstrike. And that just means that in the long run, AP Bren wins the trade. Not the sequences they should have been taking. And we already made a big deal about it in the broadcast at that point, where Falcons should be looking at Suyo, Harith, and Kagura. By the way, great little sense of micro here by AP Bren, okay? Look at this. So they only have one siege minion against a full minion wave. So what James Banks does is that he goes forward, he eats the damage of the turret while clearing up the minion waves, taking the aggro of the minion waves. Shizo and Aqua just diving in. James Banks takes the full brunt of the damage of the turret, almost bringing him low. But the siege minion is still alive. And you don't have a minion wave to worry about anymore. Aqua and Shizo take the damage instead. Actually, no, it was just Shizo. He decided to full on take the damage, and then that's a win. That should not have been the target to go for. I know they're building for advantage, but at that point, look, you have the vision of where AP Bren is. You know where they're going to be coming from. Lord JM at that point, he's like, way too deep. Okay, you get the catch, but then there will be a clapback. Great read also by Aqua to, instead of joining the rest of the fight, and this is why I really like Aqua with AP Bren, good old Raider style, goes for the flank instead. Yeah, they were outplayed by very good play by AP Bren, but Falcon should not have taken that fight. So with this, I think at this point we're getting close to like 40-50 minutes on this video. I don't know, but thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys, through all of these rambles, get to understand what I mean when it comes to my problems with Falcons. Am I counting them out? Hell no. I am still a Falcons guy at heart. But there's a lot of things that they need to work on. The thing is, with the experience of these players, it's not a tough ask to fix what they need to fix. Full trust on Coach Trevor. I know Coach Ducky still also has some involvement with the team that they'll be able to turn things around. But good win for AP Bren. Again, they recovered. They started off 1-0 and then eventually it was just a turnaround. Team fighting formation. That was always a point for Wolf in his The Howl Keys to Victory. We call it the box. It's the team fighting formation of the team. Seems like Falcons right now are just can be so tunnel vision with some aspects that they forget some things, which is tough to say about a team like Falcons. Because in their absolute prime, they look like a team that just knew what was going on everywhere. And hopefully they can bring that back. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Watch MPL Philippines. It's been great. It's been great. But not for a Falcons guy, no.